consistency of, hey, where are we going to spend our marketing dollars for each of our respective businesses? What works? What doesn't work? And if it's not working, then, hey, let's move something over into another area.
When we sell a policy and there's nothing on the back end, I think agents are really missing a huge opportunity there. All right. Hi, everybody. I am joined here with a good friend of mine, Danielle from Little Dog Social. And as you know, we are investing heavily into giving agencies tools to plan for the next year. And one of them is building your marketing plan. And I'm have Danielle here because, as many of you guys know, this is not an area that APP gets into. While we do our own marketing, we believe that, other people do it way, way better than we could ever do it. And that's why I'm really, really excited to have Danielle here. So Danielle, do you mind introducing yourself to everybody and just a little bit about Little Dog Social?
Absolutely. Well, thanks for having us, Kelly, and welcome everybody. So Little Dog Social Media, we help agents with their social media and anything in the digital presence. We currently work with about 700 agents all across the country, and we have a staff of about 40 employees. So that's pretty exciting. We're busy all the time. We love to create customized content and information for the businesses that will actually generate traffic and ROI to their website and the social media. So one of the things that we really focus on is customized approach. The content that you get for your social media is going to be different than another agent that we work with. So it's really personalized content based on the agency that we work with.
That's awesome. So I know a lot of agencies maybe don't really do much on the marketing horizon. Whether that's they don't really do much on social media or blogs, or they have a website, but it's not really part of their day-to-day operations. I always look at it like, hey, I think every business, if you think of not insurance agent, but small business, has to have some budget for marketing, has to have some marketing activities. If somebody's not doing much right now, what do you think is the first steps that they might need to take? And, if what we're saying is like over people's heads, because they can go in and talk about a very intelligent cyber liability policy that might make us a little cross-eyed. What would be the first couple of steps that that they should start with? And how does a company like you help them do that?
I would say the very first thing an agency needs to look at in terms of marketing is understand what they want to do with their agency. What is the purpose of contracting with a marketing company, or what is the purpose of their marketing? Because marketing in general is a very broad topic, and you can spend a lot of money just kind of throwing things out of the wall and hoping things work.
Right.
But you really need to identify, what do I want to accomplish with my marketing? And is that to increase customer retention, or is that to increase new quotes, or is that to increase your brand in your community? So the first step they need to do is identify what they want to do with marketing. And from there, create a plan. So if they want to work on customer retention, one of the first steps is to ask, how are you currently communicating with your clients? Or do you have anything in place that you're currently doing with that? If the answer is, well, we kind of, put out a post every once in a while on Facebook, or, we kind of email them when they reach out to us, then, we need to come up with a plan that actually reaches your current clients. And that once you have that down, then you can cross-sell products to them that they may not have with your business. So maybe they have the auto and they have the home, but they don't have cyber, they don't have flood, and they don't have life with you. So customer retention and cross-selling is a very good place to start. Then if you're talking about new customers, how are those new customers going to find the agency? What plans we need to put in place that we can help the agency to accomplish that task? That is a very customized one-on-one solution. The agency may not have a very good marketing foundation, meaning the website might be clunky. The Google My Business may not be optimized or not working correctly. The social media is non-existent. So if it's kind of like, everything here has a hole in it, we need to build a strong foundation before we start to attract new clients to the business. So it kind of like it's like building a house, right? You got to have the good foundation before you build everything else. If an agent does have good social media and they have a good website and they have good Google My Business and they have everything kind of in place, and now they're looking to like hit the gas and turn it up a little bit, then we can talk about, hey, let's run some really cool campaigns. Maybe let's get some new photos of people in the agency. Let's talk about doing a life insurance campaign or a cyber insurance campaign. Let's put all this stuff together. And then they will see that that will actually work very well because they already have that foundation done. So I would say the number one thing is to say, what do I want to accomplish as an agency by partnering with that? And then what is the plan? And I know you and I had talked about, agents who don't really have a marketing plan, they are kind of winging it every single
Yeah.
month. And that's where we can come in and help and say, okay, every single month of this year, this is the plan that we want to kind of talk about. And of course, with social media, there's always fun things that happen that are not included in the plan. Maybe some trend is happening that we want to jump on board with, or
Right.
there's something that is really that we got to like kind of like wiggle around. Or in the case of the hard market, where it was okay, now we can't write business because of XYZ. We kind of have to move this plan around and be flexible. That's okay too if we have to actually deviate from the original plan. But I think just having the original plan of, hey, if everything is going right, this is what we're doing for the first 6 months or the first year. That is the step, because otherwise agents just go to bed at night and they're like, oh, well, I should have did XYZ, but I didn't. And then I'll do it tomorrow. But then tomorrow somebody calls in sick, or
Right.
tomorrow there's some other issue. And then the marketing tends to fall to the wayside.
It's also very different skills sometimes. So, like you and I talked, I have a marketing degree. I find it easy to market my own company, but hard to do it for others. And so I think, like, even with our two-person marketing team, I'm always like, the stuff I learned back, whatever, 22 years ago is, the foundation is there, but a lot of it's invalid. Like, I learned the big thing, I'm going to date myself, but was the keychain tags where like the loyalty cards were coming out, and it was like at CVS now they know what I'm buying and they can
Mhm.
target me with the stuff I would want. And I'm like, now Alexa just targets me and ads find me wherever I am. So I think, it's such a big field that it's helpful to have a partner like you guys to say, hey, an insurance agency, maybe whoever's role this is going to be, maybe you have somebody, maybe you don't, maybe it falls on the owner. But if the owner is kind of pushing it off to the side or not doing it, I think, consistently is something you had said earlier, right? They do it sometimes or it falls off. In my experience, marketing done inconsistently kind of doesn't work either. What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely. If you're not doing it consistently, it won't work. The other thing that I always like to point out, and something that I feel like we're really good at, and I know that you evaluate this whenever you guys work with the agents that you work with, is how did that campaign work, right? So,
Right.
what did we put in place? How did it perform? And then actually providing the results of that and following up with the agents to say, hey, in order to make this campaign really fun, we needed a picture of you. We're going to say after you until we get this picture, or we get this content that we need from you, and then we can run it. But after we run the campaign, how did that go? Did it go good? Is that something we want to repeat again? So I think the follow up and understanding how the marketing dollars is spent also plays in that consistency of the marketing. And that's something that you and I talked about before.
Yeah.
Consistency of, hey, where are we going to spend our marketing dollars for each of our respective businesses? What works? What doesn't work? And if it's not working, then hey, let's move something over into another area. A couple of years ago, Twitter was really great. Now, we're not doing so much on, well, I said Twitter, but now we're not doing so much on X. Is TikTok. TikTok's algorithms are great. We're going to see a lot of great views and impressions over on TikTok. So it's also looking at all the different platforms and understanding their algorithms, which they change all the time,
Hmm.
and being consistent on each of those, understanding where your client base is. If you think, oh, well, I, want to post a bunch on LinkedIn, but is that where your client base is, or so understanding not only the consistency and the performance of it, but what makes the most sense for your agency and what they're trying to accomplish.
Oh, I love that. And I do say this, like we recommend like as agencies outsource accounting, or outsource like CFO work, or they outsource the basic, tasks that are really hard to find staff. I just think, if you're not doing any marketing, 2025 is you have to start. Social media has been around now, let's just see, probably I had my first Facebook page when I was like 27, 28, and I'm 42. So do the math there. I mean, this isn't going away, right? And
Mhm.
even just email marketing, I'm always shocked when I speak. I'll say, okay, well, how many, like we have a presentation on how to bump your retention to 96%. And I'm like, okay, well, how many of you routinely email your clients so they have your name in front of you? Like, just like,
Mm.
hey, happy Halloween or Merry Christmas or happy Thanksgiving. And I'm always shocked at how few agencies do that. But I have seen by just a monthly fun touch point that you can bump your retention sometimes a whole point. So
Mhm.
that is a lot of revenue in someone's pocket just by keeping your name in front of them. And then people see you and they send referrals or they think about you when they're buying the boat. But when we sell a policy and there's nothing on the back end, I think agents are really missing a huge opportunity there.
Yeah, I agree as well. I think one of the things that we do, which we focus a lot on email marketing, we actually, make it like you said, really cozy. And when you
It's
think about email
authentic or stuff.
marketing,
It's very
yeah,
authentic.
there's so many different ways you can be salesy, or you can be, and your email can have a sales component, a cozy compartment, multiple
Cozy
things.
compartment in my email. I like that.
Yeah, cozy compartment. It can have all of those things, but if you're not doing it, you're definitely missing out. I know last year for a couple agents up in New England, we asked for a New England clam chowder recipe from like their grandma, right? And put that into the email on behalf of the agent. And those worked out really great. It was like, oh my gosh, we had all these all these responses, and people's grandmas were saying, well, here's my clam chowder recipe. Will you showcase that? So the clam
It's a
chowder
very big
comes
thing in
in
New
the
England because each state has its own version. Like
yeah.
it's like we have our own lobster roll version. I'm laughing because last night we went to Fenway to see Pearl Jam, and I haven't been to Fenway in a minute, and I haven't been to a concert in Fenway in a real minute. And they were selling like like clam chowder, and I was like, who wants clam chowder at a concert?
Right.
But it's just that like all the vendor booths are open, and they people come to see. It's like part of the thing. But I was like, that's not what I was thinking.
Well, it's funny that you say that because we're in Maryland, in Cumberland, Maryland. We had a festival this weekend, and there's all these vendors, Maryland crab cakes, all
Yeah,
these
yeah.
things. And the biggest vendor there was the Cousins lobster
Oh, yeah.
truck from
From Shark
Maine.
Tank.
Yeah, and we were like, "Oh my goodness, who knew all these people here in Cumberland, Maryland?" Like that was like the busiest one, which was kind of funny. But and I kind of thought too, it's 85 degrees, it's
Yeah.
hot, we're
Yeah.
walking around and we're eating, crab. But
Yeah.
okay, whatever. Like it'd be nice if it was like a nice fall day or something.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
um,
It's like one of those weird things. Like people go to the beach and eat clam chowder. I'm like,
ugh,
it's just not
ugh,
my
yeah,
go-to. But hey, you come to New England, you got to do the New England things, I suppose.
that's
um,
right.
so just to kind of the last question for you here is like, what do you think are the common hangups on maybe why agents haven't really put together a marketing plan or partnered with somebody like you? I just see it as such a huge gap in the industry. And we talk to agents about it sometimes. And hey, I know sometimes that's not their biggest fish to fry. Like we come into some agencies where sometimes they'll say, yeah, let's not though focus on marketing right now. Like you have your house to clean up because if a lead comes in, we're not equipped to do it. So what would you say are the biggest reasons or the biggest hangups, agents have around marketing?
I would say two things. Number one, they're comfortable. A lot of agents that I work with are older, agents that the agency has been passed down from, their great grandfather, their grandfather, and they're comfortable with their book of business. But then I remind them, but like 85% of their book of business is over 80 years old. So
Mm,
those insureds are at some point are going to pass away, and
right.
they need to be having new income generating into their agency. So I think that for the clients that we work with is a lot of it, and that hey, we're pretty comfortable. We've been doing things our old the way that we've done it before. We miss the phone book, right? And the phone book is not coming back. You say social media is here to stay. So the days of advertising in the phone book are long gone. So I
Well,
think
and they had
that
huge phone book budgets. That was my whole
right.
thing, right? Like that tens of thousands of dollars. And then that money never really got redirected.
Exactly. exactly. So, and I know that it's like social media is new and different. And when you put out the ad in the phone book, people read it and they really, and they just called and there wasn't this opinion. So now on social media, someone can leave a bad Google review or
Yeah.
somebody can, it's more of a two-way street than just the ad in the phone book.
Yeah.
But that's the way that marketing has evolved over the years. So I think that is number one, get away from the phone book mentality that and that your business is always going to be okay just because you're comfortable right now. And then the other reason I think that a lot of people just don't understand social media and they're afraid of it. So I think
Sure.
that is the second part. Well, I don't want to be on Facebook. I don't want to be on Instagram. I don't want to be on TikTok. I don't want to have any bad things about me out there. So, but
Or it seems
yeah.
like this very dark dungeness world because maybe like I don't go to it as much, right? Like I
Mhm.
remember the first time I got in TikTok, I was like, where did 45 minutes of my life go?
Exactly. Me
That's
too.
why I can't do it. Like I can't open it. It's like it has to be in a time where I'm don't need to do things.
Exactly. Yes. Me as well. I was sitting in a grocery store parking lot thinking, I'll just get on TikTok here for a minute. And like half an hour later, like I was like, where am I and what just happened? I was like, no, I'm not doing that again for a little bit,
Yeah. It's like my guilty pleasure on Sundays only like on a certain amount of time. But
Right. Because it's so addicting. But I think that the main thing is just to have agents to, think about marketing, think about it in a new light, think that there are tons of people out there to help you. And, marketing for your agency is hands down one of the best things that you can do.
yeah, absolutely. So Danielle, if people want to find you because they're building their plan, they're like, man, this struck a chord, right? We're not doing anything. We know we want to grow and we know we need help. What's the best way for them to connect with you guys to learn more?
Yep. You can visit our website at littledogsocialmedia.com. My email address is on there. It's Danielle@teamwillets.com. And schedule some time with us. We do a customized approach for each agency that we work with. So we'd be happy to take a look and see where we can provide opportunity.
And Danielle is super fun, so we highly recommend that you do that.
Thank you so
Well,
much.
Danielle, thanks for joining us today, and we appreciate you. And if anybody's any questions, you can also come see us. But we hope this is the year that agencies dive a little deeper into their marketing.
All right. Awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks, Danielle.